Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Data Talk Thursdays with Dan. Today's topic is saving money is costing you time. So, what prompted the discussion for today's video, I was having a discussion with David. Now, David, he's also a business owner, he's in the group, and I receive his newsletter through physical mail on a monthly basis. So I also have a mailer I send out to homeowners on a somewhat monthly basis. But the difference is he uses a mailing service to send out his newsletters, and I do it myself. So I was asking David, what company do you use? And, about how much do they charge? So, after this discussion with David, and looking at the cost for, postage, the cost for printing, when it all came down to it, I'm essentially paying the same thing to, take the time to, print my own newsletters, buy the postage, take time to stuff the envelopes, seal envelopes, make a trip to the post office. All that activity is not just costing money, but it's costing time. Again, the video topic for today is saving money is costing you time. The time that I think I'm saving, the money that I think I'm saving is not, that savings isn't really there. The same amount of money has to be spent to do it myself versus paying someone else to do it. And more importantly, that time that I'm losing, I could be, spending time doing something else. Now, when you think about home ownership and the home search, you have a couple of different scenarios that this really hits home with. You have people that do the for sale by owner, also referred to as a FSBO, FSBO. And what they do is rather than wanting to pay someone to market their home, rather than wanting to put their property on the MLS, on the active market, where they would actually bring a lot more attention to their listing, they choose to do it all themselves, thinking that they're actually saving money, but not realizing that the extra time that it takes to sell the house, the time that it takes for people to come view the house, because remember, if you're doing all this yourself, you still have to go about your day as you normally would. So, how will people easily access your property if you're selling the property yourself and they need to access the house maybe when you're at home or at a time where it may not be convenient for you? That's the benefit of using a realtor. They actually will manage all of that for you, all of the showings, all the advertising, making sure that the property is being cared for in between when people come and go. There's lots of traffic that's created when a house hits the market. But if you, as a for sale by owner, are trying to manage all of that at the same time when you're trying to manage your full time job, manage the household, manage the family, all of that money you think you're saving, that's costing you in time, is costing you in energy spent, and also it may be costing you even more money because each month, each week that your home sits on the market, that's additional expenses you're having to pay toward utilities, toward the mortgage payment, all of those costs associated with homeownership. So that's your first scenario. People trying to save money, but actually costing yourself time. And then you have the other scenario, which I've seen a lot more recently, where people are trying to actually predict and guess what the market will be doing in the upcoming months, upcoming years. Now, no one really knows what will happen with the market. Most of the information that we hear is that it will continue to be a seller's market for a decent amount of time, but no one knows. No one could predict COVID. Things are unpredictable. But if you're trying to predict what the market's going to do 6 months from now, that may cost you in the long run. If you're looking to buy a home, if you continue to wait and wait and wait, most likely the prices will continue to go up and up and up because inventory has remained at some of the lowest levels since the 1980s. So, trying to wait out the market, that may not be in your best interest either. What you definitely want to do if you're in the market to buy a home, if you're still renting, all of the years you've spent renting, just sit down when you have a chance and calculate how much have you spent in rent the entire amount of time you've been renting a home. And I'm sure you'll be shocked to find out what that number is. At some point, we all want to retire, but if you're continuing to rent year after year after year, you are in many ways prolonging, first of all, the time it'll take you to pay off a home, but also those are extra years you will have to work. Basically, you want to have your expenses as low as possible. But if you're in your retirement years or late in the time frame to retire, your 60s, your late 50s, you will be continuing to pay a large amount of money in your retirement years if that house isn't paid off. So that's all I have for you all today. But just make sure that the time you think you're saving by trying to do it yourself, that it actually is a benefit to you.